Hey everyone, this is Erin Ashley Simon.
This is Brandon Killabh Hall.
And I'm Regular Naz.
And this is another episode of Grassroots Podcast. I usually would have an intro, but we're just going to get into it because this is going to be a long conversation.
This is. I want to pose a question to the floor, to listeners, and to the room.
Yes.
Is Drake the Floyd Mayweather of hip-hop? And by that, meaning that nigga could bob and weave, boy. Get him on the ropes, and he's all right, man.
He's trying to avoid this L. I have a theory. I just want to Jay Prince comes out and says, "Don't respond," right? Mm-hmm. So Drake is sitting there. He hears the story of Adon. Mm-hmm. He's flipping out in the studio. Jay Prince goes, "Yo, don't even respond, bro. We gonna call it a bluff. We're just gonna play chicken with him because this album is better. It's best not to respond. If we just let the album drop, because they're anticipating a response.
Yeah.
So let them go out and purchase the album and listen to the album looking for the response. Because if you give it to them right now, then I think he was thinking that may take away from the album.
He definitely did break up certain points towards Pusha throughout different songs.
Definitely.
Like, it wasn't like one song. I mean, there was one song that was more focused on it. Like, was it 8 out of 10? It focused a little more on the Pusha situation, but then he added little trinkets here and there throughout.
For me, off the rip, as soon as the song comes on, he addresses mad shit that I said that he should have addressed early on.
Yeah.
I almost feel like he was listening to us. I said from the beginning, there's a lot of skeletons in Drake's closet that if he just comes and is forthright with, he'll be all right. You just take the 8 Mile approach. It's the best way to go.
Yeah.
He subtly addressed the fucking altercation with Puff.
Yeah.
He addresses the kid shit early on. He addresses
Charlemagne.
The Charlemagne, which that wasn't a shout out. I don't know why Charlemagne posted thinking that was a shout. That was definitely a jab.
And it was on his birthday,
And
too.
it was on his birthday.
Oh, man.
And then on top of it, he also addressed the elephant in the room of, listen, I'm not scared, but it's either I address this and it goes someplace else, or I just chill.
Yeah.
So for me, I think he got straight to it. Now, do I think it suffices to the beef of no? If I'm calling a spade, he lost. Right now, he lost. He took that out, but he's winning the war.
Yeah. He took that punch on the chin.
Man,
he's trying to avoid. He tried to avoid it.
He did.
He tried. He tried so hard, but you can't.
But you know what? Like, in a way, he won the war, but in a way, he kind of didn't, because even still, like, he's still making Pusha relevant by addressing certain topics and certain things that Pusha made, like, very internet friendly. So the same way that Drake has utilized the internet against Meek Mill, Pusha utilized that against Drake. And because he utilized that against Drake, those conversations are in the music. So it's still SEO-wise and social media-wise tied back to the original project.
Agreed.
So this album coming out is still keeping Pusha's album relevant.
Yeah.
What I find it hard to believe is he said on one of those songs he only hit twice.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do a nice little breakdown.
That was a lie.
Yeah, the lie determined detective. Yeah,
Might as well said didn't do no condoms.
Yeah, might as well.
Don't sit here and lie to me.
You're not gonna. I get what you did, but I'll just chalk that up to wordplay. You definitely hit more than twice, my nigga. Like, just stop it. It's fine.
Yeah,
we've
just
had
say
our
you went raw.
It's
That's
not,
it.
Yeah, that's it. It's
I
cool.
did it. I took the hat off and I was in there.
Fucking so. Now this is the other question I want to pose. Would you say that this is Drake's best work to date? Like, looking at all of the albums that he's put out.
No, I think that was at Thank Me Later. Mm-hmm. I think that album was
So Far Gone for me is still one of my favorite
Yeah.
Drake projects. Just because it was just
So Far Gone, Take Care. And then I think, I don't know if third. I would say maybe, think this project may be third or, no, fourth place.
fourth place. Right?
Fourth place.
I want to know what album deal he signed with Cash Money. How many albums does he owe them?
Well, I've known this for quite some time. I don't. I'll keep it brief because I probably can't say all of that. I know, but I know that he was in a bad deal situation early on. I learned that early on. With speaking with him or whatever, way God knows how long ago, and so it wasn't the best of deals for him. it was one of those like you're locked in.
So it's like a 10 album deal, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if Lil Wayne got locked in badly, like,
Lil Wayne,
I wouldn't be surprised if everyone else did.
He was like 14.
I wouldn't be surprised that all of those artists got locked in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
including Nicki.
Yeah, I'm talking about all of them. All of them.
All.
Baby is Big Red.
Yeah,
he's definitely Big Red from 5
Mixed with Suge, 100%,
100%. Which color you want?
Oh my God.
Sewing them up.
For real, man.
All right, so let's start with a few records.
Okay.
So let's go Emotionless.
Got it.
Is that in chronological order of where the album, what songs is? It is, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Emotionless. What did you guys get from Emotionless?
You want to go first? No, yeah, you. I'm gonna let you.
I'm trying to remember because I was listening to it on the way on the way down here.
Old man's memory.
Yeah, for real. Is that the one where he was addressing his son?
Well, yeah. All right. So basically, on Emotionless, he goes into the fact of really opening up about his kid.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying that he wants his kid to kind of have his eyes. He pretty much expresses the regret that he hasn't really seen his son. It sounded like he was struggling with the fact that he actually had a kid.
Was that?
Oh, and well, he was struggling with the fact that, like, I mean, he basically was in a similar situation that his parents was in. He always gave them flack, even within their music, for what they did, and he's now co-parenting.
And that's the thing. He wanted to be better than that. Like his goal or his vision of when he had a kid was like, yo, we would be together, and I wouldn't have to explain what your mom did and what I did and why we're not together. I never wanted to have that conversation, but here we are, and now I have to have it.
Yeah, and he addresses it in multiple. Obviously, Sandra's Rose, which we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, we'll
but then this one, it was just more so of just like he's explaining why he kept his kids away. He was like, I kept him away from the world instead of keeping the world away from him. In a sense of like, that's why he was addressing the social media stuff and was just like, yo, people are just phony and they just would use anything against you. And he's just like, he did not want to put his kids through that, especially with the climate of how social media is.
Yeah, definitely. He also talked a lot about like it's sinking in that he's got a big crib and it's empty and not having his kid there. He talked a lot about struggling with the fact of only his father not even meeting the kid yet, but his closest friends have, and then also struggling with the fact that again, he was able to at least have his son meet Saint Nick and give him presents and stuff like that. He said he had to lace him, which I thought was dope.
Yeah.
But I just that was the first part for me where he starts to really kind of come clean about their whole situation.
It's a real personal album. When I was listening to it, like 25 Tricks is super personal.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even like clout. Well, not clout. Bravado is the word I'm looking for. It's really personal.
Well, that's the thing too. And just dissecting the album, normally Drake starts off very vulnerable and then ends albums very triumphant. If you look at the ending of his records, any of his albums, he manages to make himself be the hero, the heroic rapper that's untouched, unflawed, and able to just do what he wants. This time it was backwards. This one is, again, it's almost like, all right, let me come clean about some things. Let's get some facts straight.
Apology letter.
I think it's different. I think it's more so of just him like maturing.
Yeah.
Because like if you saw in the beginning in side A and also even previous songs, he always refers to himself as boy.
Yeah.
But then towards the end, on was it March 14th, he refers to himself as a man.
Yeah.
So it's like there's this maturity kind of journey that he's taking from side A to side B. And side B is more so of kind of like the space and the feelings that he's in now.
Yeah.
And he is being super vulnerable. But I think what's interesting is that we're able to see the vulnerability beyond just the things that happen with with women, but more so specifically with his child and with him as an individual. And at the end, it's just kind of like, you know what, I got to be more of a man. Because he has a kid now, so you have whenever it's not even a man thing. Like even women, like once you have a kid, like things need to change.
Most definitely.
But sorry,
them is real bills.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure those ain't no play bills. Like he got some serious bills.
Yeah. I thought was interesting was I forget which song, but he makes reference to Christianity and Judaism with one of his lines.
Yeah.
But in this song specifically with Emotionless, gotta make sure I got this correct. He says, "You know, a wise man once said nothing at all." Obviously, that's like kind of a saying in itself. But if you Google that, Google will take you to Proverbs 17. Within Proverbs 17 in the Bible, it says, "The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even tempered." I thought it was really interesting. Also in Proverbs 17, that it says, "The start of a quarrel is like a leak in a dam, so stop it before it bursts." So I'm not going to sit here and say that he's using religious connotations for his music specifically, but the fact that like he utilized that specific line referencing the quarrel and situation with Pusha T, and Pusha T is known for using God references within his music, either to use as symbolism for himself or his situations, or even like, you know, Kanye does that. So I thought that was interesting that he used that specific line, and then also has kind of made like a dual connection between Judaism and Christianity. Obviously, he's practiced Judaism, but you're utilizing that Christianity aspect too.
I think also, even with that though, I think it was a great play on words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it speaks volumes to his literature and how he writes.
Yeah.
Like he's not a surface level artist. Even in the simplest of phrases or terms when he raps, there's always a level to it that you just kind of have to dig deep for when listen to his music, which I think is really dope. What else do we talking about? Oh, so Sandra's Rose,
yes,
right?
What's song about his mama, right?
Yeah, which I thought it was. I found it interesting though that he speaks more so about his pops on this album, but subtly talks about his mom. I thought that he would have referenced not the his father not seeing the kid and his mom not seeing the kid. So I wonder if his mom was a part of this whole thing, like trying to groom him into being a man and trying to be his sanctity.
I'm pretty sure from what I see in the media, him and his mother's relationship, they're fairly close.
Yeah.
They're extreme. So,
well, she raised him.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, of course, if he's a mama's boy, you might have a grandson.
Yeah.
Now, my father, on the other hand, he's in Memphis. I don't really see him. Our relationship is just getting to where, that's my guy. I can start to rely on him again and not feel like the floor is going to be taken from underneath me. So I think that's playing on him that I don't want to be my father in the beginning stages. My father wasn't there. What's the song he had before when he talks about how he was waiting on his father and his father never showed up and he learned not to. Yeah, that one.
What was it?
0 to 100.
Oh.
So
I feel like my brain is in a whirlwind with so much music and titles and shit.
Yeah.
Like I really am trying to keep track of it all.
June has messed everything up.
Yeah. I mean, as someone too, as someone who's had kind of like a rough patch with her father, and when you're kind of like in the rekindling stages of it, you really are just trying to figure out, like, is my father the same as he was before, or is he coming for different reasons? I think that may be tying to that situation where he may not be referencing as much of his dad before as he is now, because obviously, like, he probably had that conversation with him at some point where it's like, yo, you weren't a good dad. But, usually during the healing process, that's probably going to happen later on than it does like when you first rekindle, because you're just going to be happy with the fact that they're even trying, because I don't know for his situation, but for mine, it's like wasn't really trying, I
also liked on Sandra's Rose the wordplay and letting people know that he wasn't really pressed about a lot of legalities, considering this album potentially frees him up from his Young Money deal. So that's what I think is great. I wonder what his next move is going to be. He talked about not even the Mary Carter could tie him down. He talked about, not being able to really have those same worries that you guys have on that level. Very God-like. Yeah. Differentiating himself from the normal rapper to himself. So I wonder what his next move is. Does he stay with Young Money? Does he go build his own Young Money at this point?
He could. I mean,
he honestly could, man. That dude is he's up there right now.
Yo, I also love the fact that he brought up Louisville and the Rick Pitino thing.
The Rick Pitino shit.
That's like I mean, I went to UK, so of course I freaking love that. But that's also, I guess, his way of saying, yes, I'm a Kentucky fan.
Yeah.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Big Blue Nation. BBN.
We love you, Blue.
We out here.
Blue, you're my boy.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, yes, thank you.
What else? There's so much shit.
March 14th?
No. So what else I want to talk about? We kind of mentioned the backstabbing thing with the Charlemagne thing. I think Drake constantly goes at that. I think throughout his career, especially in musically right now, he goes a lot into the fact that even though he knows how this game is played and he knows some of the types of people that he's dealing with, he often still tries to give them a chance, and he still winds up getting backstabbed.
That's a Scorpio in him.
Yeah,
man.
like I really think that, especially with the whole Meek Mill shit, where him and Charlemagne were kind of at odds at one point, where Drake sends the bottles, the 6 bottles, and all that shit. I think that they, at least in Drake's mind, and this is totally hypothetical, but I think in his mind, he looked at them. All right, maybe I have some sort of alliance with this guy now, and then seeing the shift once the whole Pusha and Drake thing happens, he now looks at it like, all right, fam, like you too, and then that's when he starts to question all of the moral people that he lost, at least thinks that were moral, and now he's looking at everybody crazy. He doesn't know who to go
Can't trust
to.
nobody, man.
Yeah.
Well, it just shows you, like, I mean, that comes with the vulnerability side. Like, when it comes with hip hop, it's like this macho syndrome where, like, I don't care. But, like, he's obviously now saying, like, he does care. Like, his feelings are hurt.
Yeah, he's always been emotional. Anytime you can rap toodles to you bitches,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Man, I've never heard a gangster say toodles standing on the corner.
And on top of it, to say that you had some scallops and they were to die for is another bar, my nigga.
Come on, man.
You should just not be that great to say, and it just flows so effortlessly. Let's just point that out. That's a wild bar.
To die for.
Everything is to die for.
There are rappers out there that got sensitive sides. They like to get their petties now and then. Feet
don't
rubs.
lie to me, man. Toodles to you bitches.
Toodles to you bitches was kind of wild. I ain't gonna lie. I forgot about that.
But he makes such good music. People, it just goes like...
You just got to let it go over. Like, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
If you're bold enough to use those type of lines, I support you.
I mean, he's despite what people are gonna say, he's a pop star. Like, he is way past being a hip hop star. He's a pop star at this point. So, like, certain things he can get away with. But even going back to the project itself, like, it felt like a homework assignment listening to this whole project. Like, I literally had to split it up. Of course, the first time I went straight through. Yeah. But it felt weird, the transition at a certain point. Like, I had to literally break it up. Like, let me just listen to side A, take some time. Yeah. And then side B.
That's exactly what
Because, like, when I did the first time, I was like, what the fuck?
It was a lot. Number one, I removed God's Plan and I removed Upset because both of those records make me upset and I didn't feel like they were part of God's plan. Number two, I also felt like...
Bars.
Yeah. I also felt like I would have mixed up the chronological order of the B-sides. Yeah. The way the ending of the A side, be it very, I would not somber, but very, for lack of a better word, emotional, I'll say, then leading right into, I don't want you. I was just like, all right, there's a lot of emotion going on here. Let's just skim it back. I do think with March 14th, though, which I think it sheds a lot of light on their situation with him and his baby moms, that there seems to be some friction there. Like, he's now going through the phase of what most celebrities and relationships go through when you just, you get slipped up and it wasn't intended, and now there's friction where they're not getting along. So it kind of makes sense that maybe he hasn't seen his kid because they're beefing. Yeah. But he has high hopes.
You got to watch who you lay down with, man.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then before you know it, you get a porno star pregnant. Yeah. And that way you at.
And I'm sure he's working on it. I mean, I think I saw somewhere that, like, he flew them both out for Christmas or something like that. And like, even though he doesn't want to be in this co-parenting situation, it seems like he wishes that it was better, but it's like at this point he wants it to make it better. That's probably where he ends up with this being the maturity aspect. Yeah. But it has nothing to do with the project, but I think it's really hilarious that March 14th is Steak and Blowjob Day.
I did not know that at all.
That's the day. You know, like every day has some crazy stuff. Like today is Donut Day. It is Steak and Blowjob Day for March 14th. I did not
know that. I am definitely gonna mark that on the calendar.
Yeah, word. putting that in my mental Rolodex right now.
I know that one.
You're gonna circle it on the calendar. You'd be like.
But that's a wild mental pic. Just because I'm visual, eating steak and getting a blowjob is kind of crazy.
That's a good day.
That's a good day though.
That, my friends, is a good day.
Yeah, I'm not really mad at that.
Wait, do you have the steak before or after?
Well, that's my thing because normally steak makes you tired. So and then when you get off, you kind of get tired. So
damn, you're comatose.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a what do you
at the same damn time?
Yeah, what do you do to recover at this point?
Like, sleep like a little baby. Word. He's a little baby. Right there in the bed.
Fucking
fun fact.
I wanted to ask you. I know this wasn't. We talked about it off air, obviously.
Yeah.
The Jay-Z feature. What did you guys think about? Because that was recent. In particular, the line about y'all killed X, the streets or y'all killed X or whatever, and let Zimmerman live. Streets is dead. Shit. How y'all feel about that?
I'm like Walker, man. You had enough money. You had enough.
Yeah, Walker was pretty upset about that.
Get them assassins.
Yeah,
listen,
Walker,
I can't use the words you use, but.
Yeah, Walker was pretty upset. What did he say? Walker said, I respect everything about Jay-Z, but on the Drake record, those words were uncalled for, Jay. You got way more coins and connections than us, my G. You could have just got a job done by blame the unguided youth. I know, I see, I hear, truth. Just know, hip-hop always alive and well. And then he says, there is way too much evil and pain. Way too much evil and pain and death in the world. And so there must have been something wrong with this creation. X died of pure hate and jealousy. Nothing more, nothing less. Long live XXXX. So if I'm keeping it a buck, I'm not rolling with Waka. I've been saying I don't know how Zimmerman is alive.
Listen, man, to be honest, I don't like putting evil on anybody.
I don't either. I'm just saying how the world is. Think about all of the things that happen. Mass killings, black on black crime, fucking just all types of injustices.
Because people are not, people are not as woke as they may portray on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, they semi-woke. Mm-hmm. Y'all not out there doing what you should be doing and holding people accountable.
Yeah.
I think.
No, go ahead.
I think what they also have to understand is like the reason why Zimmerman even walked away was the Florida laws.
Yeah.
Like if you want to really do something, then you need to start at the law and who you vote in to the government and everything like that. I mean, it's a deeper discussion than that. Like, and we've seen situations like killing people off does not solve anything. It really doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Like there has to be a little more productive things, you know?
And hold on, how he gonna say that? When he just, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
How you gonna say that when he just said like, firing the NBA owner?
Yeah,
that doesn't solve the problem.
Well, that was gonna be my thing too. That was gonna be my thing when I read those tweets or whatever, and then I immediately thought that, and I was like, it's kind of contradictory there, big guy.
Come on, fam, what are you doing now? That's the problem with our community.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, fam, you can't do both.
Yeah, you can't have both. You can't play the middleman on certain situations and then not want that to happen. It's either one or the other. No, I agree. But I mean, I guess teach his own. A lot. It seemed, and then I saw a bunch of comments where people were saying that Hove didn't write that line. He got it off of a Bryson Tiller parody page. Not to take away from it. I mean, I think that was a relevant statement.
I mean, hey, the greatest artists are the ones that steal very well.
It's very true.
It's just,
Come on, he's almost 50, right?
Yeah, almost.
Come on, man. What are you rapping about? You and your shorty or your wife, not your shorty, your wife. Y'all billionaires, man.
Yeah.
You so far removed from the streets.
Well, no, he said, Hov said if you get close enough to him, you'll still smell cocaine on him. That was in the bar.
It was in the bar, but come on. That's
like.
only because of the accountants that's doing it around him.
Yeah, well,
I mean, in New York, you can come across cocaine.
yeah, definitely.
The bars and clubs and stuff.
From the accountants.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what cocaine
Wall
is.
Street?
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Wall Street is...
Wall Street. They had a whole like Drugs Inc. about like how there's such a big competition about getting drugs into Wall Street. Like dudes are like sneaking in because there's high surveillance around that area.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. This one guy was like, "You better come to my car in 20 minutes," and people were coming from Brooklyn, Bronx, like
All
rushing
over-
down
all over the place.
just to hand them like this much of cocaine.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Crazy. out
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
here. Now they're on the Adderall.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, be careful out there.
yeah.
No.
You should really only take Adderall for medical purposes. That shit will fuck you
Y'all
up.
out here doing drugs, shit, banging porno stars,
Pills
raw.
in general can fuck you up.
Yeah. I agree.
Herpes is still out there, guys.
Yo.
I'm just being,
Wrap it for you cap it.
for real. Yo, that is, you should put
Public
that.
service announcement.
That is a fucking bumper sticker. Wrap it before you tap it. That's hilarious.
For real, man.
Drake should have done that.
Damn,
Yeah,
shots fired.
You guys out
Where's
there,
that gunshot?
you guys out there on that
sound effects.
on that Tinder
He said it took
Word.
2 times.
I'm not rolling with that. I didn't
two
care about that.
times. Listen,
Oh shit! Hold on.
have you seen her body 2 times? Lies.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask y'all opinion on: what did y'all think about the Michael Jackson feature?
Michael would not have approved. I'm sorry. I had to.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry. I had to get that out.
He was holding that in for a long
I was about to say,
Yo,
do you need a minute?
Yo, that ass, this is like us having like an AA meeting and he just like,
Word.
he's like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Yo, do you need an intervention? Like you was like, he would have been so upset. Like, fam,
Listen,
it's
man,
all right.
Mike is a perfectionist, man. He did Billie Jean over 96 times.
Yeah.
There's no way, it was a good record. It was decent, but there's no way he would have approved.
I actually like the record. I could tell where they really had to do something to tweak MJ's
Exactly.
voice.
Yeah.
Those had to have been super duper rough references for a record. Number one. Number two, the mix on the record. In the beginning, when the first part of the sample comes on for the hook, you can hear the what's the word? You can hear the tone change.
Yeah.
Where in the beginning of it, it's not as clear, and then once Mike starts to sing, you can actually hear it.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I mean, for calling a spade, he got an MJ feature, dog. Like, to get an MJ.
Hov brought MJ out on Summer Jam stage.
Of course, but I'm saying,
So,
Yo, you know who's also been kind of a big silent winner this summer?
who?
Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah, word.
He's been on various projects
Fam.
in this month alone.
He is living.
My
He is
gosh.
living right now, and rightfully so. I fuck with Ty Dolla $ign. I think he's so dope.
Yeah.
I think he's so dope.
And he's a
super
songwriter,
talented. Yeah.
so that makes sense.
well deserved, man.
But he's been winning. He's been low key winning out here.
Yeah.
He's been on various projects this month, and when I saw him on Drake's, I was like, all right, you know what?
He's been on every project. Now that when I think about it, he really hasn't been on every project.
He's been a low key winner.
I shouldn't be saying this, but
Oh my gosh.
is he next up?
I knew
Nate
I knew he
Dogg?
was gonna say Nate Dogg. I knew he was gonna say Nate Dogg. Even though Quiet is Kept, people have been saying that for quite some time now, that he is kind of filling that void where Nate Dogg was there.
Nate was good.
Nate was on everything.
He was a beast on them hooks.
Yeah, Nate
man.
was on everything. They were like the go-to people in hip hop where you wanted a certain sound. So if you needed a hook, you're going to Nate Dogg. If you wanted someone a loud voice on your record to pump up the record, it would be Mr. C. Fat Man Scoop rather. Sorry.
Colorado.
Yeah. So I think he's definitely in that bracket.
Oh yeah,
or
Ty Dolla
space.
$ign is like if you want that like because you're gonna make fun of me for the word I'm gonna use, but luscious hook for like R&B. If you want that kind of like girl, come here, I'm loving on you, all this stuff, and it's for a lot. I mean, you gotta
can get away
get
with
that
that,
Ty Dolla $ign hook.
You can get away
Or
with
if you
that.
want that like swaggy like Playboy, I'm cute. I'm dope kind of vibe.
luscious hook.
You get that Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that sweet serenade.
Word. I think
a luscious
hit
hook.
you with that sweet
Luscious.
taboo. Yo, I think to sum it up though with Drake, I really think I didn't think that it would be possible for him to get out of this unscathed. He's kind of unscathed. Would you really, really think about it? Like,
I wouldn't say unscathed.
Yo, he was like freaking little Kim when she's like getting away from that Pusha T situation. Like he dead ass was doing that
like
in this project.
I mean, I don't know.
He outboxed
to
him.
what? Yeah, I don't know to what detriment will it affect his legacy again. And also, I liked. He still addressed he said the only thing that should be questioned is the record, the beats that I'm on this.
Oh, he said dead beats?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. He was like something about dead beats. It's the beats that I'm rapping on.
Yeah, he said that's the only thing you should be able to, that's the only thing you can question. And I like that line. I thought that was twofold, meaning obviously I'm not a deadbeat dad and you can't question me lyrically. You can maybe question the beats I'm on, but you can't question me lyrically. I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
What? All right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happens when we record. For the listeners and viewers, our cameraman Kyle is crawling on the floor, which that's dedication. So let's jump into Terry Crews.
So his situation was really interesting. So for those who don't know, Terry Crews, he recently went to the Senate. He's trying to pass a sexual assault survivors bill of rights. Yeah. Essentially, like this would be codified certain rights for people reporting assaults, like having their rape kits preserved, forensic testing subsidized in all 50 states, and et cetera, et cetera. For those who know, he received a little bit of a backlash because they're saying, you know, you're a big guy and you got your crotch grabbed by another dude. And, you know.
No, that's terrible.
It is wild, though.
That is terrible. Where's Gloria Allred now? Where's Gloria at? Where's her and her daughter at? I don't see them championing Terry Crews.
Well, he does have someone behind him. He's getting support from Gabrielle Union, who's also was sexually assaulted too.
Where is Gloria? Because Gloria was coming after Bill Cosby's neck.
Oh, yeah.
Where is Gloria?
That is true.
I don't know. You may have to.
She ghosted.
Why don't you call her?
Yeah, go. Yeah. Oh, now it's a big black girl, Terry Crews. Oh, he got it.
Yeah.
Come on,
ghosted
fam.
on him.
Come on, fam. Where's Gloria's semi-woke ass?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That makes me mad, man. I'm sorry, Ega.
No.
Nas been mad this whole episode.
Yo, he got a little energized in the last episode. That's why. Y'all are going to find out later on why.
Y'all find out.
Yeah, a little wild.
Regular Naz will now be called Nasty Nas. Let's just be clear. Y'all will know real soon.
Y'all are wild, man.
Nas is a wild guy, man.
But essentially there's this kind of like this situation that's going on where people are saying that Terry Crews is obviously this big guy.
Yeah.
And that why didn't he do anything about it? But then Terry Crews was also saying like come on guys, like I'm a big black man. If I did anything, it would fall along the lines of being a big angry black man, and that can cause issues. And of course people were upset. 50 Cent, you know, made some comment, trolled it. Then he made even more memes and trolled him even harder once, you know, that kind of conversation came up.
I think he took it down, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
Because I haven't seen it on his IG.
Yeah.
And then Terry Crews took the high road. He said, I'm a fan of 50. I work
reporter,
out to his music.
And that's the thing with journalism. When you got the one reporter guy that wants to be a dickhead, I'm like, hey, how do you like 50? Did you see what he did to you on Instagram? It's pretty funny, huh? Like, are you looking to get punched in the face?
That's what he's like. He's looking for Terry to be.
Yeah, like why? But I like how Terry handled it. He said, you know, I'm a fan of 50. I love 50 Cent. That was dope.
I like how he's handling it all because especially there's such a big stigma about a sexual assault within the black community, especially when it pertains to men. I think that also maybe what contributes to it is how we or black men more specifically in society are portrayed in a certain way that like, what's the best word to... it's like takes the masculinity away from black men.
Yeah. It's the stigmatism of you being a man, number one, and masculine, and that having happened to you, and then it happening to you by you know, a guy. So it's one of those things that it's uncomfortable.
I have to ask you too. Obviously, I'm not a man. So for you guys, if you were in a situation where some higher exec grabs you by the nuts, and this is dealing with the what? You don't like the word nuts?
No, I'm just thinking about when you asked me to put myself in that situation. I'm just like, oh man.
But not even just regularly. I mean, obviously in a regular situation, you'd be like, fuck out of here. But like, I'm talking about if that was like, this person could literally ruin your career or potentially life, how would you respond to that? Or can you even fathom that?
I don't know if I would have the same demeanor and self-control as Terry Crews. Mm-hmm. If somebody just came up and forcefully grabbed my genitals, I do not know how.
And I think his wife was there too.
If I'm keeping the buck, I think I would lose it.
Yeah.
Honestly, just because, it's just so many things wrong with that. Like I'm you know what I mean? To each his own. But like, fam, you kind of know where I'm at with things. Like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta fuck you up.
Plain. But you know what's crazy?
Plain and simple. I have to.
Didn't you say that he was out of Expendables? The next one coming up.
Yeah.
Now, again, where your homeboys at? Where's Sly at? Where's Bruce? Where's all these dudes at that was like, oh, we family on the set, blah, 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 blah. And then when the producer goes down, if you don't drop that lawsuit, it's over for you. Where's all the guys say, nah, it's not over?
But that's the corporate bullying shit. And again, it's one of those things where not many people are going to want to take on that fight for him when they know what's at stake for him and what's on the line. A lot of people won't stand up.
Hold on. So and I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying you in general you.
Yeah.
Sly doesn't have that clout. Sly doesn't have enough years, and Bruce doesn't have that much clout.
Sly does, and all these guys do, but they're coming towards the tail end of their careers, and I'm sure that they're trying to get as many gigs and roles as possible and stay as relevant as possible. So it's one of those times where it's like, that's fucked up, man, but I got you back over here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's and it is. You're right. Yeah. It's a terrible thing to have to experience something like that, and you can only confide in yourself with it. I
mean, also think about it. Like, they have families too that they have to take care of. It's a tricky situation, and like I always say, like, you never know how you would respond, or you would never know like how you would react to certain situations unless you're actually in that situation. I feel like for most of us, and I'm not even talking about sexual assault, but like we have to also understand that like sexual assault on a regular citizen level is a little bit different than on a celebrity level in certain aspects. It is. Because it's like, and I'm not even talking from the law perspective or anything, but like the scrutiny, extra scrutiny,
what comes with it,
media. Like, unfortunately, there are certain cases on the citizens level that isn't getting the media attention that it should get.
Yeah.
But then think about it. This is Terry Crews. He's a black man. He's a big black man on top of that.
Former NFL player.
Mm-hmm. He has been in Friday movies. He was that guy. But it's just like, and he's going up against like white producers.
He's going up against
going against big people who can literally, in a snap of a finger, your career and life is over.
Dan see shit.
Yeah,
basically,
in a nutshell.
And that's why a lot of people haven't been.
That's a horrible play of words. A nutshell.
Oh my god,
fucked up.
But that's why a lot of people before didn't come out. That's why it took a while for people to come out for Bill Cosby. That's why it took a while for people to come out for certain people, because these men were in such a high power and high position that they could literally ruin the lives of those that they affected. Definitely. And it literally took a band of people, women, and I'll say people too, to try and take down these quote-unquote titans.
Yeah. Too bad Gloria didn't step up for Terry. Too bad.
Why don't you put on a shirt?
Too bad Gloria Allred didn't step up for Terry.
Yeah, man. I mean, I hope they figure it out, because that's definitely a thing to live with. I wonder what's a tougher decision. Is dealing with Terry's decision, be it, do I say something and my career is over with, or like with Drake and Pusha, do I respond and then lives and casualties will be lost? What is a tougher decision to make?
I think Terry's.
Why?
If I'm looking at my children, and I know if I go at this, I may jeopardize their comfort, their way of their life. Mm-hmm. My check stop. His check is stopped. Expendables check. That's not just a one-time check. That's residuals. Mm-hmm. That's spinoffs. That money is deep.
Yeah.
This Drake and Pusha thing is just, from all this is rap beef.
Well,
this is marketing. That's strategy.
No, but that's my point. To where it was alleged.
If they're leveled off in the sense of like.
No, I'm saying because it's not leveled off. Well, yeah.
I'm saying if it was the same kind of.
If it was leveled off, and the reason why I kind of do feel like it's leveled off is because now with the Drake and Pusha shit, it's to an end. It's hit ahead. But I'm saying at one point they were talking about it was going to go to another level of
That's a bluff, man. After listening to that album, that's Jay Prince bluff.
I don't know.
That's the anticipation.
I'm not rolling.
Yeah,
I am. I don't need you to roll with me.
Jay Prince is that's fine.
I don't need you to roll. I got a coupe. I don't need you to roll with me.
Jay Prince, Aaron and Brand didn't say that. That was
I said
that's fine.
No, man, I'm not going at Jay Prince.
Well, you explained to him. So
the one thing I definitely want to say about this Terry Crews situation is kind of answering back to what you're saying. It's like. It's when you're in a situation where it's like you're damned if you don't, you're damned if you do. You're gonna go up to a point where like, you know what? If I'm damned, even if I do the wrong thing and the right thing, I'm gonna go with what's right.
What's right?
And the fact that he's even sitting across from the Senate, like for him to put his career on to the side and possibly have his career end to help many people, I think that's more important in the end.
Well, look at
but look at Colin Kaepernick. Yeah. He's fine.
Yeah.
His career is over in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's fine. Yeah. I think with him, even if his movie career ended, he's still going to be okay because he's pushing something that many people need.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, I applaud him for that. It takes a certain type of person, man or woman, to risk it all.
Agree.
Yes, it does.
For what you think is
a
right.
Cause.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
But it's not a possibility if his movie career is over. It's over.
Yeah, once he now that he's going this route, it's over.
Well,
he's going to be one of those people that will be blacklisted and will have to,
I would say it may be a little bit harder. I'm not saying it's harder, but now with the Me Too and everyone shit being aired out, people are also walking on eggshells a bit.
But I ain't gotta hire you.
Yeah, I don't gotta hire you.
There's no HR in Hollywood,
and that's the thing. That's the thing. A lot of people forget or neglect is that no one is monitoring these role spots. No one is saying, "Hey, you're great here." No, fam. I can just say, "Hey, Aaron, you would be great for this, but it's kind of typecast. You don't really fit the mold."
Yeah.
So they can do that to death for him. Like he can never see the light of day. So he's gonna have a tough road ahead. But like, to your point, if Cap is out here living, he'll be all right.
Proper investments. Proper investments.
He's like I said, he's gone further when it comes to certain situations as most people have. The fact that you're sitting in front of Senate and having this conversation,
like that says something.
And who was that senator? What was that Nimrod's name? That said, "Well, you're a big guy. Why didn't you do anything about it?"
I should have been like, "Well, you're on the Senate.
Yeah,
why aren't you doing anything
what's this
about
old
it?"
lady's name?
I can't think of the lady's name.
So that meatball. What's her name?
Damn.
Well, you're a big guy.
I'm
now imagine.
too.
I was thinking about that. Imagine if an old man had said that to a woman. Well, you're a sizable woman.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you know what's crazy? They have said that stuff. They have said stuff about like,
Thanks for G-checking
why didn't you? Why didn't you do anything about it? Why didn't you change your clothes? That's been happening.
That is true
for women.
Yeah, you're right. My fault. Yeah. I'll fall back. Well, let's segue into the next subject, everybody.
I think it's great when he checks you. I think it really makes my fucking day. But I guess on a more somber note, and I know we struggled to talk about this topic, but just with all the new information around it, with XXX, it just came out that he prepared a will at the age of 19, and it he was kind of prepared.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like to weigh the options that he did and to set it up. I know everything will go to his mom and his brothers and shit like that. It's sad. He was preparing himself for this. I almost look at it like a the Malcolm X movie, where as Denzel's going to the mosque and he knows what's gonna happen. He's prepared, and he walking to the podium. He knows that today is gonna happen. And then right before he gets murdered, he smiles because he knew. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like between that video drop and this will, something spoke to him. What do you think? I don't know.
I think if you speak about death and you court death, death will follow. I think you put that karma out there. Just I was listening to Snoop's interview, and he said he made murder was the case before he caught the case.
Yeah.
He said, I put that energy out there, and then look, I was fighting for my life.
Yeah.
He said, that's why I switched up after that, and I started talking about living and happy days. Now he's Uncle Snoop, and he's smiling and all that.
Yeah.
You put that death out there, you court death. I'm a big proponent of that. Like, you put that energy out there,
Yeah.
that's what's going to come back. Oh, I want to say, listen, everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
I don't know, you young people watching, no, don't rush it. It's going to happen.
Definitely.
It's not if.
Yeah.
You know, so live your life, you know, it's just unfortunate, man. That young dude, he could have been something, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, another artist passed away the same day, Jimmy Wapo,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Yeah,
artist,
yeah.
literally back to back. I have a question for you guys. So there's been kind of conversations about how media, and I would even say entertainment industry, because I think it's even more all-encompassing, like how, you know, I wouldn't say it's our responsibility in the sense of like these kids dying, but that like we in a sense could fuel some of these things, whether it's like reporting on beefs or you know constantly pushing this music and this perception about the streets and stuff like that. Do you feel like media and also even labels or industry kind of contribute to this little fire that's starting to build more and build more, especially with these young artists that really do not understand the streets but are like dabbling in it?
I do. I think media platforms, and not all, because I don't think we do that. And that could be us being biased, but I know we don't do that. Yeah. But I know that there are a lot of other platforms that shall not be named that report on it, but report on it with not the same sense of respect for all aspects. Insouciant. That's a beautiful word. That's actually a really, really good word, actually. That's a perfect definition of what they do. And I think that they definitely ate it. Yeah. And if I'm keeping it a buck, labels play a part in it. Labels know, they know who they're dealing with. They know the artists that they sign. They know, you know, what could potentially put these artists in bad lights. But at times, again, they look at the business aspect of it and how it could impact them, not the artist, and not the trickle-down effect of it.
Nope.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think that... in media, especially us being in media, I think we all have a sense of, or we should have a sense of respect when it comes to reporting out on certain issues. We have fun on the show all the time, and we like to crack jokes, but majority of times we're serious, because I think a lot of topics deserve these serious moments. And I think for X, this is one of those times where at the end of the day, this kid lost his life at 20 years old.
Yeah.
At 20.
Barely, and it just got out of this teenage years.
Yeah, like,
that's crazy.
He couldn't even vote.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Couldn't even technically buy alcohol.
Couldn't buy alcohol. Couldn't get into a club, technically speaking.
Yeah.
Like, kid is lost, and it's unfortunate that media outlets and just people now really want to bring up the negative still on this kid and not give the family their time.
I mean, we don't condone domestic violence or violence in any shape or form. But like you were saying, we also have to understand that he has family members. He has a mom. He has other people that aren't doing any of that. Yeah. That lost someone that was dear to them, and they deserve that respect. I agree with you, Brandon. I feel like the media, we have a responsibility, and I think that because we are moving away from reporting and more so towards personalities, that sometimes when we discuss certain topics, not even we saying us, but like the general landscape of media, when they're discussing topics, they're trying. It's more so about making it like colorful commentary or sensationalism, instead of like focusing on just like what are the facts and what are, instead of like putting your opinion into it. I don't think that just because something happens, you should put your opinion into it, which is why we don't talk about certain things. Even if the topic's trending, we don't talk about it because there's certain things that we shouldn't even be saying anything about. Definitely. And I feel like that's kind of the problem with media and where it's at now. It's like everyone feels the need to give their opinion about everything,
just
but there's certain things that you just need to step back. You may lose numbers, but in the long run, you'll be more reputable if you just step back. Now, if you want to report it from an unbiased perspective, facts, police reports, info. Don't say like, oh, well, he shouldn't have been beefing. He died this way or this is that. I think, and even if some people did talk about those things, I think the people who should talk about those things are the ones who actually are dealing with streets, who are dealing with OGs, who are dealing with people who've been in both lights, you know? There have been people who talked about stuff with X and talked about things about streets and even have previously talked about things about beefs, but they're not in the streets at all.
And don't
in any
know,
capacity.
And don't know that the streets will come knocking.
Yeah, imagine
That's the thing.
Imagine if them two young cats at the whole social media said, yo, they did it.
Yeah.
Now imagine if, X's crew or whatever ran up on them dudes. Then what? Now you got more lives lost over the nonsense.
Over nonsense. So it's just tragic. It's sad. The more and more, and again, I often said I didn't really know much about this kid.
Yeah.
The more and more I delve into his body of work and just a lot of the contributions that he was doing, I didn't know he was doing a bunch of charities in Florida for unprivileged kids and for domestic violence.
Yeah.
And so. It's just unfortunate. It's just one of those lives lost that,
Slow down.
Just for the kids out there, just slow down a little bit. Just slow down. It's too much going on in the world, and shit just needs to change. So, but I guess on a brighter note, Dame, I guess, finally got his money from Lee Daniels.
Yo.
Or in the process.
Or in the process.
One of those.
Can we just talk about how if this was old school Dame walking up on Lee Daniels, he probably would have been punched in the face?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I just thought my favorite part from that video when he's like, I'll call you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that, man.
He said, we'll have a conversation about it, Dame. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Let me give you my number. Dame said, no. Let all these people know how you wrong me. He's just like, Dame, here? Like now? You want me to do this now?
Two had on a cape.
Is this the time?
Lee Daniels had on a cape.
Yeah, man. But not for nothing, I'll give Lee Daniels his props. At least he owned up. I'm big on owning up to your shit.
After months?
I'd rather you own up.
Better late than never.
Yeah. People make mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
That's a $2 million mistake, bro.
It is, but at least he owned up to it. And from what Dame posted, they're in the process, and he's gonna make it right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's dope.
I don't know about their situation, but for anyone that's listening, I don't care if it's your friend, get a contract.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's your homie that you grew up for 10 years, get a contract. If they're your friend, they would be okay with the fact that you got paperwork.
Yeah,
if they don't like the paperwork, that's fishy.
They understand the business aspect of it, man.
Facts. Because I'm not handing out $2 million.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Dame needs to be maybe a little bit more cautious. Like it's time and time again, and I guess that's what that's one of the areas of opportunity in doing business is that you see potential and you naturally want to jump to that next business venture.
Yeah.
Dame has been taken advantage of a lot, so I would just advise him probably to just move with a little bit more caution.
Slow down.
Yeah, because I hate to see people like that, that are innovators in my mind, because he's definitely a fucking tycoon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to, be taken advantage of time and time again to keep fighting these battles. At what point do you kind of start to look at things and say, all right, maybe I got to maneuver different. I want to help all these people, but can't help everyone. Yeah. So, hopefully they'll resolve
Dot
this
your
shit.
I's and cross your T's.
Word.
And do the same for your J's.
Yeah, that too. But let us.
That, right?
that was kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. Let us know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. What are your favorite records off the Drake project? And then also talk to us about the Terry Crews situation. With should he have stayed quiet or should he have just do what he's doing now? And then also with Lee Daniels and the that whole situation. I mean, I guess
feather bangs.
Yeah. What if you're in the position to loan someone $2 million, are you doing it? Let us know what's happening, because I'm damn sure not. With that said, check us out, Grassroots Pod, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. In the link in the description, as always, you'll see the GroupMe chat, forever growing. Mm-hmm. Please join up, talk to us, and let's talk about some of these topics that we cover on a daily basis. With that said, I'm Brandon Killabh Hall.
I'm Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm Regular Naz.
AKA Nasty Naz. And we out.
Word, we out.
Grassroots.